My dear students of class 8, today first you will watch this video very attentively, right? Then you will ask questions. So first we will start from the place we ended yesterday. So we will continue from that place. Okay. Then someone, I don't know who, brought out a football. So I do not know means Jim doesn't know. Okay, I means Jim. Who brought out? Bring to brought out of football. Great coats were dumped in piles to make goalposts. Sometimes when you play, you use your sweaters, jackets, you make them heap or pile, right, as a goalpost. So they are soldiers. They didn't have goalposts. They were using great coats were dumped in means one great coat was kept over another, then another was kept over that. So in that way, dumped in, kind of heap, pile. Dumped means heap or pile. So dumped in piles to make goalposts. And the next thing we knew, it was Tommy against Fritz out in the middle. So Tommy and Fritz. So you have already acquainted with these two terms, Tommy and Fritz. Tommy is the common English name used to refer to British soldiers, and Fritz name of a German soldier. So German soldiers and British soldiers were playing, right, in the middle of no man's land. That land is means no one's. Hans Ulf and I, so Hans Ulf, the captain of German, and I, Jim, looked on and cheered. The cheer, they were means enjoying, they were cheering, okay, clapping our hands, they were clapping, stamping our feet. So it means they were hitting the land or the earth with their feet to keep out of the cold as much as anything. Means also sometimes the body movement, so that is to keep out of the cold. It was very much cold because December, it was 20th December, that's why. There was a moment when I noticed our breaths mingling in the air, means between us. So breaths means inhaling, inhaling oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide. So breathing, that is mingling, mixing up in the air between them. He saw it too and smiled. Who? That Hans Ulf saw it and then smiled. Jim McPherson, he said after a while, after some time, I think this is how we should resolve this word. Resolve means settle, Settle, resolve. We should mitigate this war. A football match, no one dies in a football match. Yes, so if there is war, you don't know how many soldiers will be killed. So no one dies in a football match. No children are orphaned. Orphan means fatherless or motherless. Suppose father is died, orphaned. No wives become widows. Widows means if the husband of any wife died, then that wife becomes widow. So no wives become widows. So most probably the football match is the best way to mitigate the war. I would prefer cricket, I told him. So Jim, being a British, means they invented cricket. So he said, I would prefer cricket. Then we Tommies could be sure of winning, probably. So Germans, they were very good in football, and British, they were very good in cricket. We laughed at that, and together we watched the game. We laughed, we smiled, and then Together we enjoyed the game. Sad to say, Connie, Fritz own. Fritz means the Germans. They own the football match. 2 goals to me, 2-1. So 2-1 by the margin. But as Hans Ulf generously said, our goal was wider than theirs, so it wasn't quite fair. Hans Ulf, so generously, very much generous, kind. He said, our goal was wider than theirs. Our goal was wider, right? So it was also wider, not squeezed, but wide than theirs. So it wasn't quite fair. So actually, he supported this British, right? The time came, and all too soon, when the game was finished, the schnapps, the rum, and the sausage had long since run out. So everything has been finished. That the items have been finished, and we know it was all over. Means the match was over, the food was over. So I wished Hans well and told him I hoped he would see his family again soon. I wished Hans, okay, see you, right? And then he said, I hope you will meet your family very soon. The fighting would end and we could all go home. So the soldiers, if the war ends, then they can go back to their families. I think that is what every soldier wants, right? Every soldier wants to go back to their family, to end the battle, to fight, to end the fighting. On both sides, Hans Wolf said, take care, Jim McPherson. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. I shall never forget this moment, nor you. He saluted and walked away from me slowly, unwillingly. He saluted. So salute, right? Then walked away from me, from Jim, slowly but unwillingly. He was not willing to go, but he had to. I felt he turned to wave, just to shake his hand just once, and then become one of the hundreds of grey-coated men drifting back towards their trenches. They were drifting back, going back towards their trenches, their trench from where they fight, right? That night, back in our dugouts, so you know it is written by the side of the road, a shelter for the soldiers made by digging a hole in the ground and covering it. Dugouts. A shelter for soldiers made by digging a hole in the ground. That is dugout. Singing it quite beautifully. They were so singing. It was Still Natched, Silent Night, one very popular song, right? Still Natched, Silent Night, one song, right? This is the name of one particular song. Our boys gave them a rousing chorus. Rousing means they were loudly. Chorus means they were singing together. Chorus means they were singing together. While shepherds watched. This is also one popular song. While shepherds watched. Right? Popular song. We exchanged carols for a while. We exchanged means take and give. Carols, one religious song that is sung during Christmas, for a while, and then we all fell silent. We became silent. We had our time of peace and goodwill. So we had that time of peace and goodwill, peaceful time and goodwill, kindness. A time I will treasure as long as I live. A time that I will keep in my mind, treasure. That is valuable time, something that is very much important, valuable in my mind, okay, as long as I live. Now, dearest Connie, By Christmas time next year, this war will be nothing but a distant, terrible memory. By next year, this war must end, and this war will not be nothing but a distant, terrible, horrible memory. Distant means very far, distant, very far, and terrible is horrible memory. I know from all that happened today how much both armies long for peace. So from this moment I can tell you that both the parties, both the armies, they long means they want peace, right? Peace. Okay. We shall be together and again soon. We shall meet together, we shall be together. We shall meet again soon. I'm sure of it. Means we shall. We means here Jim and who? Connie. Husband and wife, they will meet together. I'm sure of it. You're loving Jim. So it ends. Next to the comparison check, you will do it. We will start this next part. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. So again, that speaker of the particular text, he folded. Okay, so you fold the letter. So when you put a letter inside an envelope, you have to fold it. And slipped it means kept it carefully, he was cautiously in its envelope. I kept awake all night. The speaker didn't sleep throughout the night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I drove into Bridport. Drove means past form of drive a car. So drove into Bridport. Bridport is a particular place just a few miles away, some miles away. I asked a boy walking his dog where Cropper Beaches was. So I asked a boy who was walking with his dog about the Copper Beaches, that address, Copper Beach, house number 12. Turned out to be nothing but a burned out cell. Burned out place means someone put fire, so it was burned. It's a burned out cell, kind of shelter, right? The roof gapping. There's a gap between the roof and the wall. The windows boarded up, windows covered. I knocked at the house next door. I knocked. Okay. So when you go to someone's house, you have to knock. So knocked the next door means to ask for permission or to call. So knock. Knock. You say. Asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of Mrs. Macpherson, and asked if anyone knew. Whereabouts means information. Whereabouts, information of Mrs. Macpherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. Someone, old man was means wearing slippers. Said yes, he knew her well. He knew her well. A lovely old lady, very good old lady. He told me a bit muddle-headed. Muddle means it is written that confused. Okay, muddle-headed. But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? Means if someone is aged, he or she becomes confused. So at this age, it is normal that Mrs. Macpherson must be muddle-headed, must be confused. 101 years old. Age is 101. 101. She had been in the house when it caught fire. So that house got fired and she was inside that house. No one really knew how the fire had started. How the fire started, no one knew. No one knew how the fire had started in the house of Mrs. Macpherson. But it could well have been candles. Means due to the candles, someone said. Someone thought she used candles rather than electricity. That lady used to use candles instead of electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive, very much costly. That's why she used to use candles in the place of electricity. The fireman had got her out just in time. The fireman means the fire brigade man rescued her just in time. She was in a nursing home. Now, nursing home. He told me, Burlington House on the Dorchester Road. Burlington House, Dorchester Road. That lady was there, Mrs. Macpherson, on the other side of a town. Other side of the town. Who said this? That old man in the slipper said about that, or the information of the home, Mrs. Macpherson. Okay, class. Thank you. We will continue the next part. You will do the question and answers or comprehension check of these two parts. Okay, thank you.